Hey guys, this is Not Lambers of Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Conway regional deck profile. I played this deck at the recent Conway regional that I played this past Sunday, and I got 40th place. And I should have gotten a lot higher, but the time rules kind of screwed me over. And I'll talk about my matchups in just a moment, but like I said, if you hadn't seen my community post, time rules do need to change until the end of the player's turn, because it was literally probably less than 800 or about 800 life points difference, and I needed 30 more seconds, and I am so upset. This should actually be my X2 deck profile. I'm so upset that it's my X3 deck profile and that I got 40th with this, because I was legit 30 seconds away from beating this guy. I just needed to do a little bit of damage. Anyways, I got a list of my matchups here. My round one was Lair, which Lair of Darkness. I ended up playing someone from our locals, and I ended up winning. 2-0'd them. Then round two was I played against Luna Orchest. I hand trapped them game one, and I hand trapped him again game two, and made Mekk-Knight and won. Game three, I played against Striker Orcus. Now this guy is known for trying to slow play people, and he actually did try to slow play me a couple times. Luckily, he picked up his pace before I said something and called the judge. But he also was writing down life points incorrectly, so I had to keep looking at the life points and telling him, hey, it's 50, not 500, because of Gizmek. So I called him out on that, and but I still ended up losing just because I didn't see my outs. I almost won, but game three he lanced or chaliced, whatever the card that negates effects is, the quick play spell. He did that on my Scythe, which would have won me the game, but so he had the outs, I didn't. Then round four, I played a mirror match, which was Mekk-Knight Invoked. It played a little differently than mine, and I lost that. But then rounds 5 and 6, 5 was Salad / Code Talker. It was really strange. He played a microcoder and searched out like Signet stuff. Really weird, but I ended up beating that. Invoked Mekk-Knight has a really good Salad matchup. Round 6, I played Luna Orchest again, and I won. So that was because I knew the matchup. I had actually built this deck to go against Orchest, and I knew that if I kept it generally the same, I could play against Salad. So everything that I played against, I felt I had the matchup for. And then round 7, I played against Salad, and like I said, I lost in time because I didn't have 30 more seconds. Legit, all he had was a Sunlight Wolf, no cards in hand. Still upset about it. Very upset about it, because I have it written down right here. The points, he was at 57, I was at 49. So, but yes, like I said, I got 40th with this. This is the best I've ever done at a regional still. And aside from the dude who's the best at locals, I got the highest up, and I was one table away from playing him, and he said he would have given me the win. So had that happened, we would be looking at the top 16 Invoked deck profile, but you can't win them all. Anyways, with that out of the way, before we get into the deck profile, don't forget to check down in the description. There's a link to our Patreon, our Teespring, our Ko-fi, and our Discord, so if you feel like supporting us, that's where to do it. And now we're going to set the spells, traps, and extra deck out of the way and get right into the deck profile. And I will talk about the side deck with this. Real quick, I just want to mention something. I actually ended up picking up this Savage Strike playmat while I was at Conway, so that was pretty fun. So now I have all the playmats from Flames of Destruction to Chaos Impact. Just wanted to say that real quick. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, 3 Alistair, kind of the heart and soul of the deck. He is your main dude. He sets up impossible boards. I actually use this to double Mekk-Knight, Kaiju Kev. Big shout out to him. He was I think he was one of the Orcus players I played against. So shout outs to him. He was a great sport about it, and I actually got to film a little bit of a video with him. So check out his channel. I'll put a link somewhere, probably up here, or I'll try to remember. But yeah, 3 Alistair, awesome card. Then moving into the Mekk-Knights, triple purple, pretty standard, just searches stuff and gets out of the way to set things up. 2 blue, I don't regret playing more than 2, I don't regret playing less than 2. 2 is the perfect amount that I found. So Yeah, I like that. And still 2 Move Man. I like Move Man. I like him. I think 2 is perfect. He's the second biggest, which is nice. He's also a level 8, which is relevant. I will talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, definitely nice to have 2 Move Man. And then the 2 quote-unquote bricks, like I mentioned in the last one, red and yellow. I actually didn't side these guys out a lot. I found myself using them quite a bit to bait negates. Which is fantastic. I actually quite like these. I thought they were great. The only time one of these bit me in the butt was I popped a set Waking the Dragon with this guy and proceeded to not pop anything next time. But yeah, it was just a Blue Eyes alternative, Neo alternative Blue Eyes, which I ended up, how did I out that? I can't remember how I outed it, but I either swung over it or I banished it, one of the two. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. That's it for the real monsters of the deck. Moving into the hand traps. Triple Ash, no regrets. I saw this enough times for it to be relevant, and I used it enough times in the graveyard for it to be relevant as well. Newcomer to the deck, 3 DD Crow. DD Crow is really cool. I was looking for a card that was better than Instant Fusion, and Crow ended up filling that spot. No regrets at all about playing this. This thing was clutch. There was a lot of times where I saw Ash and Crow with like a way to get to Alistair, and I won every single game. Anytime I saw these two and Alistair, I won. Sometimes even purple. There was a lot of games where it was like these were so good. These were fantastic. Then Phantasme, there was one hand, and it was really rude. I saw Ash, Crow, and Phantasme all in the same hand. And so I just wrecked the game 1. This is what I saw against Salad, so I wrecked his day with that. And then the final card is Impermanence. Just 2 Impermanence still, because I only have the 2. I actually saw this a lot. It was crazy how much I saw this, and there was a lot of times where I big brained with this card. There was notably the one time I remember was I made Elysium, used Elysium, I had this in my hand past my turn. And then at some point during my opponent's turn, I Elysium, so I had no cards left on the field, and he thought he could get away with pulling stuff because I had a few cards in my hand, and I impermed straight from the hand because I had no more cards, and it ended his turn right there. So that was pretty cool. Definitely big brain invoker right here. You can call the press about it. Moving into the spells, because the Impermanence is the only trap I play. Of course, you have to play 3 Invocation, not 3 Impermanence. And I talked to Warren, who, like you guys know, who I've mentioned earlier in this video and in previous videos. He is the best player at our locals. I talked to him about this because I told him how I usually side out a copy of this, and he's like, "Don't do that. That's a bad thing to do. You're being dumb. Always play 3 in your main deck. Never side this card out." So I started siding out one of the field spell. Instead, I opted to side out one of these, even though I thought this was the better keep, but Invocation definitely proved to be the better keep when I was siding. This is still really good at 3, but when I needed to get that like 7th or 6th card out of my deck, definitely went for the field spell. And I never sided this out. Terraforming, I never sided that out for obvious reasons, because you can, even if you see the field spell, you can set this, and if you don't see the field spell, you can set this, use purple or blue to bait Ash, flip this up, and then you can proceed with plays to get Alistair. 3 Super Poly, I actually ended up siding out one copy of this a lot, but Super Poly was awesome. Wasn't as cool. I didn't see this against Orcust. I actually saw this a lot more against Salad, which made me want to play Violet Chimera in my extra, and I was like I picked the wrong Super Poly target. So yeah, so there we go. Which I'll talk about the extra deck when I get there, and I think I might change some stuff up for when I go to regionals in the future. 3 Mind Control, this was really nice. Definitely liked it. I saw it enough times for it to count. I saw it enough times to bait negates with it, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. Definitely a really good card. I also did a really cool thing with this that someone in the comments mentioned in one of my videos, and I'll talk about that. So two Desires. Desires was really cool. I set this a lot, I activated it a lot, and I resolved it every time. I was never ashed with Desires. I did have Desires once, and my opponent Lancia'd me on standby, so that kind of sucked, but it was whatever. 2 Cosmic. Cosmic Cyclone was awesome. Definitely no regrets about playing this still. Got around everything, got hit stuff that I needed it to hit. Still don't think Twin Twisters would have been better. Definitely like Cyclone. Two called by once again. We're going back down to 2 because I needed to fit in the crow, so we got the 2 supers back in here. But yeah, I needed to fit in the 3rd crow, and no instant fusion this time, but still 1 World Legacy Succession to search. I actually saw this no times at all. I think I saw this once or twice. Yeah, I saw this once because I used it to reborn a guy and do something really rude. But yeah, this was a cool card. Still like it at 1 and still prefer it over Monster Reborn currently. With that, that's it for the main deck. Moving into the extra. I know I'm going through this kind of fast, but this is very similar to my my previous list. 2 Mekka-Ba, still I actually double Mekka-Ba'd twice at the event, so that was kind of nice. Once against Kaiju Kev and once against an Orcus another Orcus player, I think. 1 Purgatrio. I actually wish I almost wish I had a second one because I played against Salad more than I would have thought. 1 Cocytus. And here's I wish this was a Sunlight, a Violet Chimera. I almost wish this was a Violet Chimera because I didn't run against anything that played water monsters. So I kind of wish this was another Super Poly target, potentially a Mud Dragon, potentially a Violet Chimera. But yeah, definitely next regional I go to, I will be, if I still feel like playing this deck, I will definitely be swapping this for another Super Poly target. Kaliga, which I made and put pressure on my opponent quite a bit. This was definitely a very clutch card. There was a lot of times where I used this to basically pressure my opponent out of their turns in a lot of ways. So this was a really cool card. And there was one, I can't remember the exact game, but there was a time my opponent mind control. Yeah, okay, so what happened was my opponent mind controlled my Kaliga, normal summoned a Symbol Skeleton, linked it for Phoenix, and then popped a set Scythe that I had. And so they ended up punishing themselves by taking away my Kaliga. So that was a really funny interaction. And then 1 Elysium again for a Super Poly target. I made this a couple times and it was definitely the best. It was the best. I never summoned this. Not gonna lie, didn't summon this. I tried to summon it once in game 1 and found out I couldn't use tokens. So I read my card. That was the only time I never knew like I couldn't fusion summon with it. So yeah, didn't know it couldn't use tokens. Learned that, had to change game state, but yes, never summoned that. Here's the card that someone told me to play in the comments and I put it in here last minute. I played Dingirsu at this event and it was pretty cool, actually. I like this. I'm gonna keep this in here. Dingirsu is generic rank 8, as you guys probably know, but why I added it was because someone said if I'm playing Mind Control, I should probably play Dingirsu to slap it on top of Galte and send something. So I played it, I did that once, and then I used Succession to reborn this to that Phoenix, send the Phoenix, and swing for game. With this card. I also hard made it to get rid of Avermax, and then I've also summoned it to out some other problem cards. So I summoned this a grand total of I think 4 times at the regional. So that was nice. It was cool. Purple and an indigo makes that. So yeah, kind of interesting. You can also use Starving Venom because it's level 8. Setting all those aside, we have Almirage, pretty stock standard, might as well be an invoked monster. Speaking of invoked monsters, we have Alistair the Invoker. I made this a few times, so yeah, there's no reason not to play this. Mekk-Knight, made this quite a bit, never used its effects. It was definitely arrows. Never summoned this, but I was glad I had it because I have summoned it in the past. So definitely glad I had it, just didn't come up, just wasn't worth summoning. I was going for OTKs. Never summoned this because I only ever summoned this off of this. So, but again, still glad I had it. Made this once, I think, and then it was instantly outed. So that sucked. That was really unfortunate. And never summoned this. But again, definitely glad I had it because, like I said at the in the previous profile, I summoned this a lot at locals, so I definitely wasn't cutting that. But yeah, that's it for the main. That's it for what I was doing with the extra and the main. So moving into the side where I'll talk about some of the changes that happened in said side deck. So the first change is I cut Droll for Nibiru. That is the biggest change, and I believe actually like the only change. Nibiru I sighted in, and I attempted to I sighted in 2 games total, and I attempted to and the one time I saw it and could use it, I negated it and banished it. with Mekk-Knight. Or no, it got negated. My opponent tried to Nibiru me and I negated it with Mekk-Knight. But yeah, I didn't resolve this once, and I think I'm gonna leave it in here because it is better than Droll in my opinion, but like I said, I just didn't get to resolve it, which kind of sucked. Of course, like I mentioned, I did play Scythe, and because I had Scythe, of course I'm using Sanctum. Definitely happy with this. This performed enough. I saw Sanctum way more than I saw Scythe, which is good. And like I said, I play 2 Scythes, so it doesn't matter. There was a couple times where I would slide in all 5 of these cards, and then game 2, I would I would try to read my opponent, so I'd side out 1 Scythe and 1 Sanctum, and I was rewarded. I actually ended up seeing the Sanctum instead of the Scythe, so that was nice. Then, of course, I'm playing the Heavy Storm Dusters. This was pretty cool. I liked this. This was nice. I was happy with that. I don't think I cited this in. I think I cited it in at 2 at one point for Lair, but I think after that I didn't really cite it in. There can only be one. I cited this in against the Invoked Mekk-Knight player in the mirror match, which put pressure on him. I also used this, I think, against a Salad player, against one of the Cybers guys, so yeah, but outside of that, I actually would change this for something, but I thought it performed okay. And of course, Red Reboot, which saved me against Lair, it saved me against Salad, and it did something else for me. I can't totally remember right now. I think I needed a trap with Mekk-Knight with it because I didn't want to pay life points. So there we go. That is my deck. Overall, I was happy with my performance. In fact, I was over the moon going into round 6 or going into round 7, because like I said, I played 7 games, and the only reason that this isn't X2 is because of time. I'm still upset about it. I don't blame the player. I literally blame time rules because that's it, big dummy. But yeah, that is my technically X3, should have been X2, 40th place Invoked Mekk-Knight deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, down in the description is a link to our Teespring where you can get some merch, our Patreon where you can just support us, our Ko-fi where if you just want to donate, that's where to do it, and our Discord if you feel like chatting with us. That is all down in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video.